Umbreaker. Umbreaker is one of the main weapons in Gachiakuta called Vital Instruments, or Jinki, and it's used by the best man himself, Enjin. At first glance, Unbreaker looks like nothing special. It's just an old, beat-up umbrella. The handle is wrapped with bandages, the top part is dirty and torn, and it's got random stickers all over it like it's been through a lot. But when Enjin activates, everything changes. The umbrella gets way bigger, and the metal parts inside open up into sharp blades. The stickers disappear and get replaced by clean, neat patterns. The handle turns from round to square, and the top point becomes sharp enough to stab into the ground. When Unbreaker is active, Enjin can spin it like a drill. One of his big moves is called Octa Shredder. He drops from the sky like a huge spike and smashes into the ground, tearing up anything in the way. In one fight, he spun it so fast that it created a strong wind, pulling in several trash beasts and shredding them before they could react. And with Octa Shredder, he instantly destroyed one of them. He can also use the Unbreaker like a parachute, and it can even hold more than one person. Unbreaker also connects with Enjin's personality. You see, in essence, the power of a vital instrument comes from a person's beliefs, ideologies, and experiences. To become a giver, someone has to face both the item they care about and their own feelings. Enjin believes umbrellas stand out in a crowd. That's why he carries one. He wants to be someone who stands out too, someone who brings people together like a symbol. The Ripper. The Ripper is Rio Reaper's vital instrument. It looks like a long metal pair of scissors, kinda like the ones you've seen in a salon. But once she activates it, the Ripper turns into a huge weapon, almost the size of her leg. The left blade turns white, the right one turns black, and the clean design becomes rough and sharp. Rio doesn't hold the scissors with her hands, she fights using her feet. And with the Ripper, she can cut through trash beasts like it's nothing, even though those things are super tough. She's so fast and sharp that she can hit their core in under a minute. The thing is, Rio doesn't rely on her Ripper all the time. What's more, her fighting style doesn't actually suit such a large weapon. She can move in close, fights barehanded, and then activates the Ripper right when it matters. That's when she lands a clean, powerful hit before her enemy even knows what's going on. Lovely Assist Staff, also called Love Stick, is Zanka Nijiku's vital instrument. At first, it looks just like a regular wooden stick, but once it's activated, it turns into a serious close-range weapon. The top part, which usually has two rounded tips wrapped in bandages, changes into something thicker and more dangerous. Bolts appear and two small blades get tied to the stick with rope instead of the old bandages. These blades have 4 short spikes under them and 2 curved edges sticking out the sides. This makes the stick able to crush, slice, and trap all in one. Zanka uses this weapon in a lot of creative ways. The round tip lets him throw it and trap enemies like a snare. He's even caught cats and trash beasts with it. He can spin it really fast and throw it like a whip, landing lots of hits in seconds. When he sticks it into the ground, it can pick up vibrations, helping him find enemies even if he can't see them. And with its sharp edges, it can slice through clay dolls and maybe even stronger stuff. Now here's the thing, Zanka actually picked this stick back when he was still training to be a Hell Guardsman. He wanted to prove he was different from the average guys or people who pretend to be something they're not. In simple words, he chose this stick that normally only monks will choose. That's what Enjin said, at least, to try and show off. Zanka picked something that looked old and weak on purpose, thinking people might go, oh, that's actually a strong weapon, but it didn't work out the way he hoped. The stick wasn't even seen as a real weapon. It couldn't even compare to the normal blade picked by his genius rival, Creon. But that story is for another video, so stay tuned for that. Even so, Zanka didn't give up on his so-called junk stick. He kept using it, and in the end, it turned into a vital instrument. The Watchman Book is one of the oldest and most mysterious vital instruments in all of Gachiakuta. It has the symbol of the Watchman Series and used to belong to Regto. Well, until someone took it. And if you know who that someone is, well, let's not spoil the fun for the anime-only fans. I'm saving that reveal for another video. Now, this book seems to be connected to the sense of sight. When Amo tried to figure out who captured her, the power of the book made her go completely confused. It was like someone scribbled over her eyes with a dark pen. Almost like the book changed what she saw, or maybe even messed with her memory of what really happened. The Watchman Series is a special set of 5 really old vital instruments. Each one might be linked to one of the 5 senses. They have an endless thought power and come with a lot of mystery, including a strange link to the Watchman who lives out near the border. The Watchman Book is just one piece of the puzzle. There are still 4 others. And by the end of the video, I'll show you the rest of the Watchman series and how they might be connected, and how they could relate to Rudo too. So, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to stick around until the end and hit that like and subscribe button. Alright, let's get back into it. Tokusheen. Tokusheen is Tamsi Keynes' vital instrument, and at first, it's just a small wooden yarn winder. It's the kind that's used to reel thread, but once it's activated, it becomes a long staff filled with rope. The round top and bottom disappear, and the wooden part grows larger to hold thick, strong threads. With Tokusheen, Tansy can control ropes however he wants. He can trap people, pull them in, or shape the yarn into something dangerous. Tokusheen is great for catching enemies. One of his big moves is called net. He spins the rope around him in a big circle and catches anything nearby, like a regular net. Then he uses fan reeling to pull it all back in, wrapping everything up in thick ropes. And once someone's caught, the more they fight, the tighter the ropes get, like they're stuck in barbed wire. This part's kind of a secret, but Tansy can also make thread clones that look like people. They even have wings and move like puppets to attack from far away. Think of it like a stand from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but made from yarn and totally under his control. Gita is Gita Hebi's Fantasia Vital Instrument, and it's easily a super flashy Jinki. Here's why. At first, Gita looks like a big blue onesie that's shaped like a kaiju. You know, the kind little anime kids wear. It's got big yellow button eyes, black ears on the hood, a zipper that looks like a tongue, and a long tail that drags behind her. But when she activates it, Gita turns into an actual kaiju-like monster. Her body gets way bigger, and there are signs she can grow even more. At one point, she says she was only at level 3, so there are probably more levels to her transformation. Even though she looks like a monster, Gita is still in full control. It's all her, just bigger, stronger, and tougher. Her new body is super fluffy too, which helps her cushion huge falls. She even uses it to save a squad when they're falling from way up near the border. Eyes is the vital instrument used by Simu Grier. It looks like a normal pair of round glasses, with thick black rims and beaded strings on the sides to keep them steady. But even though it looks basic, it's one of the most powerful and sharpest support Jinki in the series. Eyes don't deal damage, it can't hurt a trash beast, and it's not made for attacks. What it does is boost Simu's sight to crazy levels. When she uses it, her vision becomes sharp enough to track the tiniest movements. She can even spot weird things others miss, like the curse that was hiding inside Rudo. With enough focus, Eyes also lets her see just a little bit into the future. She can dodge bullets and missiles before they land because she already knows where they're going to hit. It's like having a super fast danger radar, but it's not perfect. Strange powers or moves she's never seen before can still mess her up. And if she pushes too far, it could damage her eyesight for good. Eyes can also show someone's true essence. Not just how good they are with their Jinki, but who they really are inside. What they want, what they're afraid of, their nature, intentions, and weaknesses. But you see, Eyes doesn't have Simu's name engraved in it. In Gachiakuta, that usually means the user is holding back. And in Simu's case, she is. During a conversation with Injin, it is revealed that if she ever did engrave her name and removed the limiters, she could see everything. All of the future. But the recoil? She'd go blind, permanently. Type Heal. Type Heal is the vital instrument used by Ishia Stiltsa. It looks like a plain black power cord, but what it can do is anything but simple. This Jinki gives her strong healing powers, and it's said that only Ishia can use it. That's because it needs someone with a pure heart, kindness, medical knowledge, and the skill to control electric voltage really well. Type Heal works by using electricity to heal people. It's not your basic electrotherapy. The current flows from the cord and through Ishia herself, then into the patient's body, helping to recharge and repair them. What's happening is that she turns electricity into a life force and sends it into the injured areas. When the healing is done, every organ is repaired and the patient's hair usually ends up standing straight, like they were just shocked. If someone asks her to leave a scar, like Follow did, she can choose to only heal certain parts. The first time Ishia saw a medical procedure, her grandmother restarted a heart with a defibrillator. Seeing electricity bring someone back to life really moved her. So she grabbed a random cord she found at home and tried to copy what her grandma did. Safe to say, she had no idea how dangerous electricity really was. It scared her so much that electricity became a trauma for her. But later, she faced that fear and formed a special bond with the cord. That's what turned her into a giver. Still, if she messes up even a little when adjusting the voltage, she could end up burning her patient to a crisp instead. Alan is a hammer that used to belong to Follow's friend, who was also named Alan. He wanted to be a giver and tried to turn the hammer into a vital instrument, but it didn't work. After failing, he gave the hammer to Follow. Later, Rudo unknowingly uses his own anima to help Follow become a real giver. Because of that, Follow now carries a part of Rudo's anima inside him. Once Follow awakened, he named the hammer Alan to honor his friend. The hammer was first found by the original Alan in a polluted zone after the cleaners saved him. He kept it all these years while trying to join them, but like I said, he didn't make it. When it's activated, Alan changes. The hammer gets way bigger, and a large shield appears on the front. That shield is strong enough to stop hits from giant trash beasts. Its main ability is called stress accumulation. The idea is simple. The more the hammer takes damage or gets pressured, the more power it stores. When it builds up enough, Follow can let it all out in one huge strike. The bigger the pressure, the stronger the explosion. After that, it resets, and Follow has to build it all over again. Alan is a mix of attack and defense. It takes hits over and over, then strikes hard when the time is right. What's really cool is how Alan reflects both Follow's and the original Alan's personalities. They both hide their true feelings until they burst. And that's exactly how the hammer works too. He is Fu Orister's vital instrument, and it's not like the others at all. It's a creepy doll with a raccoon face and a huge, scary grin. And the weird part? It talks. Even when it's not active, He can speak directly to Fu as if it has a brain of its own. No other vital instrument we've seen can do that. He doesn't change into a weapon. Instead, it takes over Fu's body. When active, He possesses Fu, which makes him way faster and stronger. According to He, it's a pact. When Fu doesn't have anyone to order him around, and when he's gonna bust something up, his body becomes his body. With He in control, Fu gets super strong. He can beat down trash beasts and even land solid hits on Jabber in just 2 seconds. That's how broken this power is. Even Rio, who's no joke herself, isn't sure she could stop He in time. You see, Fu has a traumatic fear of taking responsibility. He can't move until someone gives him orders. That even applies to activating his vital instrument. He literally needs permission to act. Centralion. Centralion is literally a pacifier. It's the vital instrument used by Dear Santa, and it lets him drain power from others to make himself stronger. When activated, the pacifier's top bulges out, and the handle turns into 2 sharp fangs, fitting for something that sucks energy. Its main power is called the Drain. Basically, every time Deer attacks, he steals a bit of the opponent's strength. He doesn't need it to hit hard either. Even if he punches like a baby, as long as he keeps hitting, he'll keep draining. It doesn't matter if the opponent is a person or a huge trash beast. As long as he gets time to land enough hits, he can steal their strength and eventually destroy them. Cloth, also called Cross, is Bro Santa's vital instrument. It lets him control a long piece of cloth, which he usually wears around his head. Once activated, the cloth gets super long and forms a handle with the word Bro on it. It's super stretchy, and Bro uses it to grab, trap, or even boost others. He can also swing around using it. He even used it to grab Deer and slam him into the wall to help him hit a trash beast more easily. Thirst Quencher, or the Great Dumbbell, belongs to Delman Gates. It looks like a normal hose at first, but once activated, it changes shape. The nozzle gets bigger, rings appear around it, and Delman's name shows up. The hose turns black and looks way scarier. Its power is all about water control. Anything it sprays starts soaking up water like a sponge. If Delman keeps going, the target swells up and explodes. Plants, objects, or even people. It doesn't matter. You see, this power ties back to Delman's past. He just wanted to help plants grow and give so many flowers to his wife. But like most dreams in Gachiakuta, that hope turned into something much darker. He also has different nozzles. The silent nozzle is for stealth kills. One spray can knock someone out cold. He doesn't normally shoot it on people and only uses it when being controlled, like the time he sprayed Injin and dropped him instantly. The strong pressure nozzle is for raw offense. It blasts water at such high pressure it punches huge holes through whatever it hits. If you get sprayed, your body starts inflating, and eventually, Delmon will burst you from the inside out. Pin is the vital instrument used by Rimlin Taisark. It's been passed down for generations among spellcasters from Canvas Town. This type of Jinki is called a succession type, meaning it's handed down from one person to another. Big names like Makaka Aikol and Gob once used it, and now it belongs to Rimlin. Pin lets its user create charms or talismans, which are magical symbols powered by ink, words, and pure intent. Think of it like casting spells through drawings, graffiti, or even tattoos. These charms do different things. Some protect, like the one that covers all of Canvas Town and keeps out people with bad intentions. Others are one-use charms, like the one painted on Rudo's back to protect him from Penta. And some are just for show, like the fireworks Rimlin shoots with a spray can. The pin's true power lies in its versatility. If the user draws something while thinking, let the first attack on this wall do nothing, that's exactly what happens. It brings intent to life through art. After Gob died, the pin was passed on to Rimlin, the chosen heir. No one really knows how the heir is picked. It might have something to do with how good they are at drawing. Or maybe, as Injin once joked, it's just about having the crazy and playful mindset of an artist. But whoever gets it always awakens as a giver when they inherit the pin. From that point on, they fully commit to the role of a charm caster. This is a part of a process called Jinki succession. A person who's naturally a giver can become one right away when they get a Jinki, even if it's not originally theirs. Though it depends on how strong the Jinki is. And that's already super rare. Pin can also change shape. It can become a pen, a paintbrush, a tattoo needle, or any art tool the user prefers. The ability gets passed down through generations, but each person uses it a bit differently. That's because everyone has their own way of creating art. At least, that's the usual idea. But according to Rimlin, what really matters is playfulness. Every artist adds their own meaning to what they draw or mess around with their work. So maybe freedom and play are the real reasons Gob and the others chose who would inherit Pin. Mankira. Mankira is Jabberwonger's vital instrument. It looks like 10 rings, one on each finger. But once it's activated, those rings transform into deadly claws. Jabber's right claw is packed with potent neurotoxins. One scratch is enough to paralyze even someone like Zonka. What's crazy is that Jabber gets bored of that poison, so Mankira lets him change it. As long as he's come into contact with a new toxin, like acid, venom, or anything else, he can recreate it and use it mid-fight. His left claw copies any poison he's absorbed into his body. All he has to do is touch it or use it on himself, and Mankira stores it. That means Jabber can mix poisons, stack effects, and build new blends. The claws are sharp enough to cut through stone. One hit leaves a deep cut, and Jabber can also use them to climb or hold his position. If he gets injured, he can even shut off all pain with the right claw's poison. He won't feel a thing. Normally, Jabber holds back. The rings stay in their suppressed form, and he keeps fights casual. Why? Because he's too strong. Most opponents bore him, and he's just waiting for someone, anyone other than his boss, who can actually push him. Dude is literally looking for someone to crush him, not the other way around. But when Jabber gets serious, Mankira enters its release state. The claws grow bigger and scarier. They connect to his fingers with wires, giving him more reach and movement. He can swing them wide or even block attacks with them. One of his favorite moves in this form is called Stormy Weather, where he spins the claws around and creates a sharp tornado that cuts through everything near him. And the poison also gets worse. In this serious mode, his left claw unlocks 3 brutal effects. A poison that shuts down all 5 senses, a neurotoxin that makes enemies feel euphoric high, and an illusionary toxin or hallucinogen that traps them in illusions. Sight, touch, hearing, it's all twisted. When he used it on Zonka, Zonka couldn't even tell what was real anymore. Manhole. As the name suggests, this vital instrument is literally a manhole, but definitely not like the typical ones. Manhole is Kotone Andor's vital instrument, and yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. It looks like any regular manhole cover, but if you look closer, you'll notice strange symbols etched into the top. These are ground language letters. Kotone carries it around in a bag or on her back, ready to use whenever needed. Once activated, Manhole gives her the power to warp. She can teleport herself or anyone else to different locations. It's one of the most versatile vital instruments for movement, escape, rescue, or even getaway. In well-lit areas, she can only warp to places like pipes, manholes, or underground passages she's already been through. So, her range is limited by her experience and the light around her. However, the moment it gets dark, all limiters are off. In the darkness, the limitations vanish. She can warp anywhere she wants, even to places she's never visited before. And she's not stuck with one manhole size either. She can expand or shrink it however she wants. Small enough for one person or massive enough to move a whole group in an instant. Hands is Bundesbegelkeit's vital instrument. A set of prosthetic hands, 6 of them to be exact. At first glance, it looks like a large mechanical shoulder pad with 6 sealed compartments. Each one houses a different prosthetic arm that Bundes can summon on command. These aren't just metal limbs either, as they can have a unique ability shaped by the different phases of Bundes' life. But here's what makes Hands so special. It has a core, like an aberrant trash beast. Even if his prosthetic arms are destroyed, they can regenerate. That's because all 6 arms were built off his original first prosthetic. But whether it has an ability or just acts like Jinki's heart is still a mystery. Let's break down what each hand can do. Hand number 2. Bundes got this at 18, during his edgy phase. It's sharp and deadly, with talents that slice through anything. A reflection of the cutting remarks he used to throw around when he thought he knew it all as a teenager. Hand number 3. He picked this one up at 20 when he was eager to explore the world, or in Bundes' words, stretch his wings. This hand can stretch over long distances, great for keeping enemies at bay or landing surprise hits. Hand number 5. This came at 35, a time in his life that was all over the place. The hand reflects that with unpredictable, chaotic movements. It warps, shifts, and strikes in strange patterns that are hard to follow. Hand number 6. At 40, Bundes became more level-headed. The thought is that as you get older, you get more conservative. This hand reflects that by hardening and increasing its size, turning into a defensive weapon that can tank direct hits. The abilities of hand number 1 and hand number 4 have not been revealed yet, and there's also a strange function tied to his main prosthetic. Bundes can eject robotic hands and fingers from pipes in the arm, but no one knows what they're used for, unless not yet. Bundes is a battle-hardened veteran, a master hand. He knows exactly which arm to use and when to use it. Against multiple cleaners at once, he just pulls out the perfect counter, one prosthetic at a time. A sill. A sill is Momoa Rukel's vital instrument. If Momoa touches you, she hears all your memories. Shaped like a pair of old headphones, a sill lets Momoa hear the memories of anyone she touches. One tap of her fingertips and every single memory of that person has flooded into her mind. Their past, their emotions, their regrets, everything. Important to note that she can't alter or change anything within one's memories. She can only listen. Despite having no combat power whatsoever, a sill was so valued that even Zodil promoted Momoa to the Raiders' front line. When Momoa used a sill on Kuro, she nearly paid with her life. Kuro had lived for so long that his memories overwhelmed her system. He even anticipated she'd listen and planted a memory specifically for her. The result? Her brain froze from the overload. A sill was born from Momoa's love for music, her desire to get lost in sound, to be immersed. Even when her headphones stopped working, she never took them off. That obsession became her power, and she became a giver, while her headphones became a vital instrument. Snowshoe. Konza's vital instrument is literally called snowshoes. With these, Konza can move across any terrain without slowing down, whether it's thick mud, sticky clay, or even unstable ground. He glides through it like it's nothing, making him almost impossible to trap or corner. On the other side, we've got a much more aggressive tool, which is the Spade vital instrument. Her weapon is a simple-looking spade, but the abilities it gives her are anything but basic. With it, she can spawn hundreds of clay dolls from the ground, even turning solid terrain into a liquid state to attack her opponents. These dolls move fast, in fact so fast that one of them instantly appeared behind Zonka without warning. And they're not just fast, they're detailed. Some of them can talk and mimic humans well enough to fool actual people. However, the more she creates, the simpler they get. Comb is Nuerde Hugh Amazo's vital instrument, and it turns her hair into a living weapon. The comb itself looks simple, with wide teeth and a smooth, shiny surface. But once it's activated, her name appears on the handle, and it starts building up static electricity through the hair. Because it's plastic, it naturally makes static. But in its vital instrument form, this gets way stronger. She can shape her hair into electric whips, strands, or spikes. Whatever they touch gets zapped. The electricity is powerful enough to shock or damage lots of enemies at once. But there's a catch. The static power doesn't last long. She can shut it off early if she wants, but even if she pushes it, it won't go past a minute or two. In really serious situations, Nuerde can go beyond that limit with a move called Last Burst. She burns out all the charge in her hair and blasts a huge stream of electricity all around her. It's a big area attack that fries everything near her, but the cost is huge. Her hair is destroyed in the process, leaving her with just burned ends. Lunvice is Tu Lily's vital instrument, and it's a wand she uses in her performances. And with it, she can actually perform real magic. Using Lunvice, she can instantly switch outfits, bring inanimate things to life, or make props move all on her own. One of her tricks is casting a spell that hides things in plain sight, like making a choker look like something else to everyone except the person wearing it. She can also teleport. With just a flick of the wand, she can disappear and pop up somewhere else. She can even teleport other people or objects the same way. Elenos. Elenos is Maimo's vital instrument, and it looks like your usual harmless loud microphone. However, this mic gives Maimo the power to control people's minds, as long as they're within the range of his rule. Here's how it works. If Maimo drinks someone's blood, he can use Elenos to control that person. For example, after taking blood from Gauntis, the person who created the choker, Maimo is able to control him and force him to keep making more. That means if you see someone wearing a choker, there's a chance Maimo has already drunk their blood. The only known ways to stop his control are to take off the chokers, take the mic from him, or take him out completely. Or maybe just use Amo's power to fight back and manipulate the targets again. Watchman Boots is one of the vital instruments from the legendary Watchman series. They're just a pair of boots, but once you catch the scent they release, it's already too late. These boots let Amo produce a fragrance, one that smells like someone you once loved, a scent that reminds you of a happy time with your loved one. The scent is different for each person, and once you breathe it in, you'll start seeing Amo as someone important to you. You'll want to protect her, follow her. The trick is, the scent only works if you're not wearing a mask. That's why Amo made the cleaners take off their masks first, so they'd breathe it in. And she has to wear both boots for it to work. Even if one is missing, the effect is gone. Originally, these boots belonged to a man who bought Amo from her mother. But then the angel stepped in and gave the boots to Amo, saying they suited her better and that she could use them from now on. Even though they belonged to the man, the vital instrument responded to Amo. After a deadly fight between them, the man lost and Amo became the new owner. What's even more interesting is that Amo doesn't need to activate the boots in weapon mode to use their power. That might mean she's suppressing something, and that a full transformation could be coming real soon. Mishra. The Watchman coat, also called Mishra, is Zodil Typhoon's vital instrument, and it's one of the most dangerous items from the Watchman series. At first, it just looks like a thick coat with a hood and belt, but on the back, there's a big metal plate with the Watchman series logo. When Zodil activates it, Mishra gives him the power to mutate depending on what he eats. And these changes aren't small. His body literally transforms. He can grow black, spiky limbs that attack from every direction or even grow wings that let him fly. Even without going all out, Mishra makes Zodiel strong enough to beat givers like Rudo or force Injin into the defensive the whole fight. And when Rudo used 3R's box, a vital instrument strong enough to defeat the King of Tori, Zodiel still destroyed it in one move. Mishra holds unlimited thought, just like the other Watchman instruments. And just like 3R, Zodiel can use multiple powers with this one vital instrument. So it's very possible we'll see even more evolutions from his Jinki as the story continues. The defective Watchman series is a failed experiment. These aren't your average trash beasts. Unlike the usual kind, imitation trash beasts have a Jinki for a core, and unless that core is destroyed, they can't be killed. They were created by Zodiel, who was trying to craft artificial Watchman series items. Instead of discarding the failures, Zodiel took the defective Watchman parts as a core and gave them vital instruments as offerings. The result? The birth of artificial monsters powered by the thoughts of corrupted Jinki, called imitation trash beasts. The most dangerous one was the Giga Trash Beast, Zodiel's second big experiment. This thing was huge, as big as a town. Inside its body were giant arenas for battles. Each one was powered by 4 different vital instruments. One of them was for defense, and another was for Ammo's boots. Even though it had wings, the Giga Trash Beast couldn't fly by itself. Instead, it rode the wild winds of the trash storm to get to the border, which was part of Zodiel's experiment. Now, why is Zodiel doing all this? It goes back to the original Watchman series. These vital instruments contained unlimited thought, so much that Zodiel believed they all once belonged to a single human. Important to note that not everyone can use a Watchman item. Only people who have lost a part of themselves, those broken by grief, trauma, or tragedy, can tap into their power. If a mentally stable person tries to use one, the instrument will drive them insane. That's what happens to Folo, who briefly used 3R. He felt like his mind was being eaten alive. The Watchman series gloves, also known as 3R, are Rudo Zurabek's vital instrument. The name 3R comes from reduce, reuse, recycle, and that's exactly what Rudo does. These huge gloves are part of the Watchman series, and they let Rudo take old, broken, or thrown away items and turn them into a real vital instrument. When Rudo touches a used or broken object, he brings out its full value. He can turn it into a temporary Jinki with real power. Rudo can power up to 3 items at once or focus all his strength into just one to make it 2 or even 3 times stronger. But using 3R too much takes a toll. Rudo gets a nosebleed and feels exhausted because his body can't handle the energy. And once an item has been fully used, it turns to dust. That means its value is completely burned out. At first, people thought Rudo could turn anything into a Jinki, but that's not what 3R really does. Instead, it draws out every bit of worth and value from something, even trash, using its hidden thoughts. Later, Rudo learns how to hold and use 2 Jinki at the same time. And in rare moments, he can send his anima to someone else, like when he powered up Folo and helped him awaken as a giver. Now let's go over some of the most creative items Rudo's turned into vital instruments. A chain, his first weapon. After it changed, it grew spikes, got longer, and gained a handle for swinging. A spiked tire he used to take down a group of human traffickers who tried to sell him. A filthy plunger still covered in feces. It was so gross that Zonka gave up instantly. A broken fence, weirdly shaped but long enough to stop a trash beast. A lucky charm, his first complete vital instrument. It shifts enemies out of attack range or moves them where Rudo wants. It originally belonged to Gris. A triangle ruler that turned into a sharp blade. We still don't know all of what it could do. A teapot and doll from early testing. Their powers are still a mystery too. A keyboard that shoots words like bullets when Rudo types insults and hits enter. He used it to beat a trash beast with a middle finger message. A nail gun strong enough to break Bundus' vital instrument. And pierce a giant trash beast. An old paintbrush. Rudo squeezed out the remaining ink to make spike traps and even a massive drawing of Rimlin that collapsed an entire tunnel. A box turned into a giant monster head that swallowed the King of Tori whole. A net used to catch dust trash beast pieces. And a blow dryer he used to blast away parts of the dust trash beast. And with how smart Rudo is with 3R, there are going to be even more crazy tools on this list. The Watchman series has one more piece, which is the vital instrument used by the choker maker, Gauntus. To make a choker, Gauntus has to use his own blood and mix it with a random chord. That's how the choker gets its power. Thanks to the Watchman series, which is believed to be linked to the sense of hearing, Gauntus was able to create chokers on a larger scale. Other than that, however, not much is known about this final Watchman vital instrument. We haven't even seen what it really looks like. Well, at least not at the time we recorded this video. There are still more vital instruments we haven't seen yet. Some confirmed givers like Shikage, the Adoroi brothers, and of course, the cleaner's boss, Arca Corvus himself, haven't revealed theirs. If you want to know more about the world of Gachiakuta, watch this next.